Tony Abreu here with Perceptive Outdoors. In this video, we're going to be giving a quick crash course on how to operate the AGM Fusion 35-640, but basically, and this one has the LRF, but basically it's going to be how to run this unit. And there's a couple different units that you can do the same thing with, so stay tuned. All right, so quick crash course on this thing. This is the 35-640 LRF unit. It's got the removable cap. This actually was attached at one point and it broke. So we're just gonna have to hang on to this. Usually I just put it on my golf cart or in my pocket or leave it in the car. But you definitely gotta remove that first. So then it has 3 buttons on top and a wheel. The first thing you're going to want to do with any scope is once you power it on, and this one to power it on is the front button right here, so you'll hold that down and it'll power on. Once it's powered on, the first thing you'll want to do is take this focus right here, which is the diopter focus, and you're going to want to get that to where all the letters and all the wording inside is clear. And then after that, then you would take this one and adjust for distance. So at 50 yards, this thing will have a different adjustment than at 300 yards. So this is the actual focus, and every time I get into a new scenario, I readjust this one, like a new fields, because sometimes your fields are shorter, sometimes they're longer, so I always clear up every field I go into. So also on this one right here, on these Fusion units, the battery, this is the battery thing right here. You need to push this down. There's a little button you push down, and then you turn it to the left, and then you wiggle this open, and that's your battery. And your battery always goes in head first into the hole, okay? When I first got this, without reading the instructions, I messed that up. So head first into the hole, and then whenever you put it back in, you kind of have to shimmy it all the way down into the hole, and then turn it back to the right, and it'll click, and then that's your battery. So then once it's running, a couple different things. Once it's running, you just bump this button and it'll turn the display off so it's not shining light everywhere. And when you're ready to turn it back on, you bump it again and it brings the display back on. This back button right here is actually, if you hold it down, it's the menu button. And then it lets you go in and change all the settings inside. And then if you just bump it one time, it rolls through your different color palettes. This unit in particular goes from white hot to black hot to red hot to fusion. And then also it has an optical mode, which is actually this one right here, which is just optic. And then it also has, wow. And then it also has fusion, which fuses the optic and the thermal together. So that's that button. This middle button right here is actually for the range on this unit, and there's a little box inside on your display that you just bump that button and hold it still, and it'll, as long as it has a clear line of sight and there's not too much humidity in the air, it'll shoot you back range in yards. When they first came out, they were only in meters, but they actually did a firmware update, and now it's in yards as well. So I use yards, and it'll bump it back and put it, I believe, in the right hand corner of your screen. You just have to look for it. So that's the rangefinder. And then this right here, this wheel, once you have it on, if you're in the menu, you use this to scroll. And then also if you're not in the menu and you're just in view mode, you can use this. If you go to the right, it'll actually zoom in for you and bring your zoom. And then if you go back the other way, it'll go right back down to 0. And then to shut it off, you just hold it down for 2 or 3 seconds, and it'll do a countdown and shut off. And the main thing that really drove me crazy when I first had this unit was recording. So in order to record, and this was really hard, you have to take these back 2 buttons and you have to bump them at the same time and just let them up. And when you do that, you'll see the little countdown and up, and I believe it's in the the upper left corner of the screen. You'll see it start to go, and with a little red dot, and that's going to be your recording, and then whenever you're done, don't forget to turn it back off. You do the same thing, it stops the recording and it says recording saved, and it records it onto the menu. So that's pretty much it for that. The only other thing is, if you want to stream this to a unit, there is actually a number on the unit. I believe for the serial number, you're going to need the serial number for the unit, and you basically turn your Wi-Fi on your device, and then you go into the settings here, and it kind of looks like an Omega, or it looks like basically kind of like an Omega without the legs. It goes kind of like a upside down U with a dot in the middle. You have to turn that on to be able to, the Wi-Fi hotspot, to be able to transmit to another device. And then once you do that, you take it to your device, and I'm gonna do a whole nother video on this, but you take it to your device, you go to your device, you turn it on, you make sure that you connect the Wi-Fi in the settings, and then you open up the unit itself, and actually it'll show the view of what the scope sees, as well as it'll let you change some settings in there. So that's pretty much it for the crash course. Just a quick little video here. Hope this is helpful. If you like this video, please drop a thumbs up or smash that like button. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe, and we will do more videos like this coming soon. So thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video.
Are you looking to buy a new night vision or thermal scope? With so many features and so many differences in each brand and model, it is easy to spend lots of money and not end up with the best option for you. Do you want to save time, money, and aggravation by knowing exactly what to look for in a night optic? I've created a free PDF outlining the key things to consider when buying your next night optic. To get this, go to yournextnightscope.com to get the free PDF now.